Okay, Ute. When I connected with your spirit guides, with your higher self, I wanted to know about your soul colors. First of all, your auric field seems to be coming through as a rainbow today. I haven't seen that as aura in a long time. The most dominant color would be bluish, blue shades, but it's rainbow colors. It's and usually I see this with people that work with children that are starseeds, or there is some connection with younger generation. So I'm really curious what this rainbow means in your everyday life. But then on a higher self, I'll pause and let you speak in a moment. And then your higher self, that part of you that is eternal, that oversees all your incarnation, is coming through with a lot of golden energy, a lot of golden colors. And I haven't seen that in I actually don't remember seeing a golden, so much golden color in the higher self. So I'm very excited that today for me feels a little bit unique as experience. And yeah. And then on the source level, that part of you that is still individual, but, closest to all that we can imagine, is coming through with white and gold sparks. So as I was tuning in with the higher self and the golden essence, it speaks about you embodying frequencies of, first of all, like the Christ consciousness, if you connect with that, and that being actually came through as one of your main guides. I'm not sure if you're Christian or not, but we can translate this avatar either as Buddha or Jesus or Krishna or whatever Christed being that is, ascended and already emanating love. Your highest potential, your highest power and strength is actually your heart. And I feel there is a lot of potential there that is going to become available to you within the next 2 years. And you will actually feel much more aligned with this golden frequency going forward. You're releasing a lot of the old energies of the human old consciousness, because you came here to dive into it, become it, and then transmute it, transcend the limitations of it. But it's the golden light that is in your heart that is really divine. So the consciousness that is in it, or the codes of your being on a soul level, is also all about integrating polarity. So no more judging, this is good and this is bad, my way is the only way and your way is the wrong way. Finding a way to accepting that light and darkness in third density world, like we live in the physical, is supporting each other, like the yin and yang. So seeing things that way and understanding that difficulties and challenges are supporting us to reach our highest potential. So we are not meant to be upset over difficulties and challenges and problems. We are meant to welcome them as something that is pushing us to reach our higher potential. So this is something that you are somehow innately are going to understand and see, and then teach and guide others to live that way. It will be your story going forward as you are stepping into your galactic soul mission. Okay, does all this make sense? Does it resonate?
First of all, I love anything that has to do with rainbow colors.
Yay!
I think I am a very, very happy grandmother for 14 months now. And I realized that my grandchild was such a heart opener to me.
Oh, I have goosebumps.
He built a bridge. I don't find other words. I know he built a bridge from the moment my daughter told me that I would be a grandmother. And I'm so connected to this child. It's wonderful. And he and I love only looking each other in the eyes.
Oh my gosh, that makes so much sense now.
It is wonderful. And what the golden color, concerning the golden color, there's something interesting when I do inner work. So I have a very unique way to do that. It isn't always the same path. And I very often see a golden sparkling, slowly rotating DNA strand. I love this. I cannot usually say, I want you to see. But when it occurs, it is so beautiful. It is so amazing, beautiful.
I'm so happy. That's such an amazing validation. Thank you so much for sharing that. So first of all, your grandchild, absolutely, it is the activation, it is deep soul connection, and it's a rainbow soul. I believe this star child is a rainbow. It's bringing a rainbow frequency to Earth. Yeah. And it's really just such a blessing to be. It's such an uplifter of energy into pure joy, just pure joy.
Yes. Yes. And even his name is Gabriel.
Oh.
It is wonderful. Yes. No name could fit better.
Goosebumps. Such a special being. Wow. So powerful.
Yes, he's special. He's very special.
So the arrival of the special soul is in conjunction with your activation, with your awakening, your remembering, and your aligning to your true state of being. Because so far you've lived as a product of the environment, and rightfully so. You were meant to be really diving deep into the collective consciousness of humanity. Actually, for few incarnations, you had several lives preparing you for this, but now you are seeing through the illusions of it, through deception, and you are regaining the sovereignty, the strength, the freedom, liberation. And that is the key, because you are changing that within your DNA. It's amazing that you've been guided to do that, because that's what it is about. You're activating the DNA as part of the ascension process, but also you're clearing the ancestral trauma, conditioning. So it's very powerful what you do.
From time to time, I can even sense it physically in my body. Nice. And I'm lying on my couch, and then there are in every part of the body, it is like little fountains, but not water fountains, sondern these golden light fountains. I can even feel it.
I know what you're talking about. It's DNA. It's a little liquid light.
Like something is opening.
DNA activation.
Yes.
Oh, that's amazing. So you have so much to look forward to, because you are with that, as first of all, as you are becoming more and more heart-centered. And really, it's the higher heart. It's the divine heart. It's the unity consciousness heart. You know, I call it the higher heart. As you really start feeling yourself anchored in that space rather than here in the left brain, more of the psychic and intuitive abilities will become available to you. You know, the more love, the more secure it is for you to have access to maybe telepathy, tapping into the Akashic records, into the quantum field, just tuning in for others. And it's likely that what you're going through individually is something that you will be teaching others how to activate within themselves.
It would be wonderful. I had an Ausbildung in energy work, training about 15 years ago. And I really was motivated to do work with clients. but I didn't really get happy with this, and I had a feeling it's not the right time.
Yes.
I didn't. My clients wanted to come again and again and again, and I should listen to them, and it didn't feel right, and so I said I will, and so I decided to help wherever I can in my private sector.
Yes.
With friends, with family, however one would like to talk to me, and I would listen to them. And that was very wonderful too.
I'm so happy you're saying that. It's very much aligned with your destiny. You followed your intuition correctly. So really well done for listening to that and for adjusting the course and working on, as you said, on a private, these everyday relationships. And the time is coming. I feel the work that you will be doing that I was shown it is going to have something to do with this rainbow frequency that is around you and the children. You will be activating the people that will be guided to you. It will no longer be about long-term commitment to going through the problems of the human experience. It'll be much more galactic and quantum and much more DNA level, just activating what is ready to be activated, because you are activating it within your own being already. Just the power of that embodiment is like a key activator for others to have a leap of that kind of experience. So this is why you're being prepared. So I feel within the next 2 years, you will be gradually introduced into it. I think the situation will start happening to you where you will receive guidance either through people or through information that will come to you. And it feels like it's something that is going to be almost your own. So you're already certified in some energy work. Give yourself permission to let your intuition guide you to help them activate
I always
the DNA.
thought it had to work that way. No fixed tools, but with a lot of intuition. That I know intuition is my strength. I have already some abilities. It depends how open my partner is, whom I'm talking to.
That is a great point. The magic happens when the person is ready and something opens within you and you bring important information through. But if they're not ready, you can only give them so much. Somehow there's block. It's not really coming through fully. So it's nice that you recognize that and that you honor and respect that. You cannot push it.
Yes.
Yeah. But it's important to really one more time highlight that your biggest signature of your service will be working with this golden light of your soul and the rainbow light. These will be your two miracle frequencies.
It's so wonderful.
Yeah.
Yes. I never could decide working with one color. When somebody says green is healing or this, and I always had this intention to do rainbow.
I love that so much. Do you know what? When I was tuning in before, I go through my protocol. I ask so many questions the way I do, trying to figure things out. But there was it wasn't coming through clearly. And I had to surrender. And I said, okay, I'm clearly going to know when I connect with you because it's something new, something unique, something I haven't seen before. So they just didn't give me much, and now it's coming. So I'm so thrilled.
So I'm a little bit surprised.
Yeah.
And perhaps I was a little surprised for you.
Yeah, I love this. I love this. It was my prayer that I will expand with my sessions this year, that I'll be experiencing new stories that I haven't seen before. So here it is.
Wonderful.
Really good. Now, so when I was curious about your galactic history, what are the galactic beings that you're connected to? What are the races that you're connected to? So first of all, I'm going to send you a very complex looking chart. All these different colors are different star systems and fixed stars alignments in your chart. So you very quantum connections. There's a lot of different races connections, but the main influences on a soul level are the Andromeda, Lyra, and Hydra. Hydra is the longest constellation in our night sky, the longest of them all, spans through so many different degrees. It is in mythology connected to the serpent, to the snake. And interestingly, your first life on Earth would have been in India, and in particular in a place where they have the statues of, or the gods that have human face, but the body, there are no legs, there's the snake body. So you were born into culture, first time on Earth, you were born into culture in India, where they had the mythology about these serpent gods that had special powers. And it's to work with the DNA structure. So I have goosebumps with how what you shared earlier. So there is something in astrology called South and North Node, and your North Node, like your calling, where you are heading, where you're evolving as a soul in this life and over many incarnations on Earth, is conjunct Hydra. The brightest star there is called Alphard. So that star system is within 1 degree connected to your life path. And also your Uranus, which is in House of Relationships, and in Leo is conjunct this fixed star. And also your vertex, which is a point of destiny, is conjunct to Hydra. So it's a very, very strong connection to this most ancient constellation. The mythology has been hidden for thousands of years of this. For some reason, the people at power, they completely inverted the story of the snake mythology and made us fear that, serpent as something that's evil, that is bad. But it's because there is so much power there that they don't want us to even look at it, because it would activate the DNA, the mythology or the symbology of the snake coil within our spine, the Kundalini energy and all that. But you seem to be connected to this powerful frequency and consciousness, and there is great wisdom from the ancient part of you that holds the secret of maybe the Kundalini energy rising, the DNA activation, great wisdom. So if you are feeling and that you're recognizing that some of these abilities are coming to you, you're just scratching the surface. More and more is going to come, but very important to stay heart-centered and using it for the benefit of ascension, of evolution. That is the main purpose or focus for you, to help people evolve consciousness, not to have more power, to have greater understanding of the unity and working together towards something that benefits all, not hierarchy anymore.
Yes. As I wrote to you, a kind of bigger picture, the real big picture.
Yeah. Yes.
And what is very interesting, yesterday I talked with my best girlfriend, and we were talking about our meeting. And I said to her, I am sure that there is enormous connection to ETs, to the off-worlders. But I have a feeling that Julia will tell me of a species, or I don't know now. And I never was in touch with Hydra.
Here we go.
So, very interesting. I would be surprised if you had named this Pleiades, or I had no resonance.
No.
I'm interested, of course, but not in a connection to me.
Yes, yes, indeed. So this is the one that I feel is the strongest connection for you. But you also have higher guidance from the Andromeda, Titawin, the Zene that Elena Danan sometimes is talking about, the highest council.
I feel such a big push to Alex Kolya.
Hmm. Well, you have your Pluto is trine Titawin of Andromeda within less than 1 degree. Your Neptune in Scorpio in 9th house is opposing Titawin Andromeda. Then you have your Jupiter trining Andromeda, and also your South Nord node are trine sextile Andromedan galaxy. So also bring these very beautiful energies of divine feminine coming through. So you certainly are supported by the Andromedan High Council overseeing, where you are placed, how you are supporting the collective evolution. So you have great support there from very highly advanced, wise beings.
Yes,
Okay.
I feel this.
Mm-hmm.
It's so beautiful to hear you speaking these words.
I'm so glad.
It's really beautiful.
Now, the Lyra connection, your ascendant, that part of you that you are showing to the world, how you connect with the world, is conjunct Lyra ring nebula. Have you ever seen this ring nebula photo by NASA? I'll send you a photo. It's very beautiful place. And Lyra, as you may know, maybe from Elena's stories, is considered to be the cradle, the beginnings of human species, human races, and then spread all over the Milky Way galaxy. So yours is conjunct at 0.12 minutes. It's very tight conjunct to your ascendant. And from the story, kind of the theme of what you're experiencing over several lifetimes now on Earth, it seems that you are bringing the highest light of Lyran collective consciousness with you as well. There is this very mature and wise, that golden, it feels like a lion energy, feline energy coming through. And you are called in this life now going forward to step into divine leadership, finding the divine father and divine mother inside you and offer that nurturing energy for others in your everyday life. And by the sounds of it, you are already doing it in everyday relationships, but they want you to be more consciously aware that you are like a channel bringing very nurturing energy of mother and father to others. And the biggest message for you today is to give it to yourself as well, to your inner child, because I was shown that you let me know if it's true that you had to grow up very fast. You had to grow up earlier as a child and maybe have responsibilities and taking care of things earlier than others.
I have a very difficult relationship with my mother. I cannot remember any good or loving or nice contact regarding my mother. I can think and nothing is there. She was caring, but no love at all.
So this is why I highlighted that the main message from your guides is, as you recognize this golden light that is so full of love and so full of joy and nurturing, that you start sending that in your meditations as you fall asleep to the younger versions of you. Go to your mother's womb. Start as far back as you just being a cell, your body being a cell, and from there start sending that golden light energy to the entire 9 months. And then as a baby, keep going through many different stages in your meditation, in your reflections, and surround your baby's body and your toddler's body, your inner child, with this golden light so much until you will see that the toddler, the baby, and the child you is aware of it. And you are connecting future into the past, letting her know, I'm so sorry you did not have access, you didn't know how to access this. I'm sorry you didn't receive it from the mother, but I'm here now to heal that because that story is complete. You no longer have to experience that. It was something that was part of the history of humanity, but we are here now to clear that. And so this is the way how you go into your deep subconscious and calibrate your core belief that love and support that you need is not available, from feminine or from mother. That needs to really heal and clear. So it's very important that you
Yes,
only,
it's very important, and I did it already, but I think the key point is this golden light carrying this. I did it in an imaginary or verbal way to connect with my inner child, but I know using this golden light is 10 times or 100 times as powerful.
Yes. So as you will continue doing that, you will start feeling lighter and lighter and lighter, and the inner child, first of all, will start thriving inside you. So you will start having a very different sense of lightness that you haven't experienced before. And also your lungs. You want to start sending that golden light into the lungs DNA, because your lungs are carrying a lot of grief and sadness of not having what you know should have been there from the mother.
Okay.
So replacing grief and sadness with knowing that joy and love that's unconditional is available to you now and going forward. You didn't know that before. Your mother didn't know how to give it, but now going forward, you know it is available to you. So when you re-listen to this recording, I want you to write it down as a mantra and start saying it regularly. It's so good to know for me that the unconditional love of divine feminine is available to me now and going forward. Okay. With regards to some of the themes that you experience in recent past lives on Earth, I believe you lived during the Second World War and you lived during the First World War as well. And how do you feel about that?
Yes, it resonates.
And the story, especially from the Second World War, came very vividly, very strongly, where I saw you as a female and born in a family that was very much about following the rules without thinking about it twice, because they had a good position, they had a good social status, so they were the lucky ones to be in a good place, and naturally, let's just follow the orders. This is how it should be, and if you're in a wrong place, that's just how it is. This is the order, and we are following it. And it was very hard for you to be part of that, but you were not able to change it, because it was such a strong collective conditioning. It feels like either Austria again or Germany.
Yes.
I feel so more Austria than Germany, but it could be Germany too, but it's almost one and the same at that time. But it feels like that. It was a privileged family and very much by following orders. So that frequency, that experience of your underlying frustration that you took with you, when you were dying in that life, there was an element of sadness that you couldn't do more for those maybe that needed help. You felt like you were trapped in a place that you did not vibe with, you did not resonate with it. So in this life, it seems you are possibly experiencing similar force of dominant authority people consciousness, where they just want to follow tradition, they just want to follow order, and it shouldn't be questioned. And if you stand up, then there is fight, and then there is conflict. So in this life, you are called to stand in your truth, stand for what feels right for you, and don't be afraid to start your own tradition, start your own culture, start your own what feels right, what has positive impact on well-being on others. Do you have that experience in your life that you kind of are fighting the system?
I have done it already. I always knew that there will be a real big challenge in my life, and this challenge arrived in the year 1999, when I decided to get divorced from my husband, and that was unbelievable. My parents, especially my mother, reunited with my husband, and they tried to get me in a position to not be able to get divorced. They conspired, and they did everything to go down. It was very, very, very hard, but it's been done. After a while, my mother talked behind my back many lies about me, many things that were not the truth. I was really standing alone, but free. The only family members that remained were my daughter. She was 12 years old, but she was the most adult person in the family. And she always was on my side, and is it till today. And I have no contact, no connection. My son decided 12 years ago that I am not, how should I say? I am not the right mother. He was infiltrated, I think. They talked, and I think that many things were not true that he was told, but it was his decision. And I learned many people cannot understand why I can handle this like the way I do. I cannot have a relationship if I want it and the other part does not want it.
Yes.
So I did a lot of self-talk and inner work to let him go and not get depressed or bad or angry or anything like this. And so it is not a nice theme in my life, but I can live with it, and I live good. I always have a good life. Even my son made this decision. And some years ago, I wrote him, he will always stay my son. And if he ever wants to turn around his decision, please contact me. I'll be here. But I'm not crying every day, and I'm not telling, what a poor woman I am. And I don't do this.
Well
I don't
done.
do it.
Yes, well done, really.
I love my life. I have a beautiful life. And the only theme is other people don't understand at all why I could handle this. But I know there are no other possibilities in the moment.
Mm-hmm. Well, let me explain that in the life just before this one, your son was present within the family unit, and I believe he was in the military position. So the life just before this one, during the Second World War, he would have been, again, very much part of the system that was separating, this is a good human, good enough, and this is an unworthy human. Mm-hmm. So he had that very, very strong mindset of following orders, and perhaps the influence of his psyche in that previous life. You lived a whole life where you felt trapped. So in this life, you feel like no more. I'm not going to sacrifice. I'm not going to sacrifice another life by trying to pretend someone I'm not, because I've done that. I know how horrible it felt. I cannot do that anymore. So this is why you felt so ready to have. You were so eager to take this second chance of showing your stance, your truth, in a very compassionate and graceful way, I must say.
Yes.
It's
And
inspiring.
this gives me another idea. So I understand that my son feels more comfortable with this part of the family as my mother, his grandmother, or my ex-band, who are the perfect follower of rules. Maybe he really feels comfortable and at home there. Maybe he was a little bit lost with my creative handling things.
Well,
maybe.
What I'm sensing from both your mother and your son on a soul level, on a galactic level connections, is that they are connected to the soul group of those races that are controlling, domineering, and conquering world after world after world. So yes, they are part of that soul group. That is their comfort. That is what they know, and the hierarchy structure, and they are on that certain level. So that's what they always knew, and they're not ready to do something else.
I would like to express something to you, because I know you will understand what I mean. And I often say to one of my best friends, I say, the deep state is everywhere. And my mother is the deep state in our family.
So and I understand, because I didn't want to say it myself, but the soul group connection is literally within these beings.
Really, it was, I think my mother was in another way preparing me for these times. I always was like a lawyer of my mother. She did bad, hurting things to me. And she's my mother. Something must be wrong with me. Perhaps she's right, and I'm not good enough, and I'm not. But I had to learn to really see her. And nobody would wish to have a mother like her. But as I learned not to make her cozier or nicer or with more pink clouds than she was. And then that was really a massive experience for me. And that it has nothing to do with me.
Very correct. Very true.
And I really, sometimes it's already for me astonishing that this could be my mother. I don't understand it till today, but it's okay. It's okay. I spent years of my life wishing she could see who I really am, and when I could let go this, I felt really, really good, really, really lighter and good. It was not possible to make her think in another way about me. It wasn't possible. But once I realized it doesn't matter, it has nothing to do with me. And she may stay as she is. She is as she is. Sometimes it helped when I said, she isn't able to do it better.
So inspiring. Yes.
So I this was and I worked through that with ups and downs, but I knew I had a good progress. And the last big troubles with my mother came when Gabriel was born, and at this time I did the last cut. I don't talk to her anymore. I don't want to see her. I really have done a cut. It's the way I feel best.
It's a different soul group altogether. It would be very interesting to look at their astrology to see if they have a Thuban Draco soul connections or Orion,
Yes.
certain Orion.
I would bet.
Yes, that's the one that I'm
Really?
getting energetically. Thuban Draco, yeah.
I am in the lucky position to have friends with whom I can tell who can say your mother is really evil. She is evil, but it's okay. I pulled myself out of her grip,
Mm-hmm.
and I had to do it the hard way. We had a second chance when my father was very ill, and I always heard him calling for me. I had no contact with but I heard him calling. He had Alzheimer, and I heard him calling, and I stepped over my shadow and emailed my mother that I wanted to have to see my father, and I knew it was only possible including my mother, because he was already in a very far state of Alzheimer, and I was allowed to guide him to be around him the last 1.5 years before he died, and the universe made a situation that my daughter and I were the last people who talked to my father before he was dying 1 hour ago. And I know that it was very, very important, and it was really a heart-touching and very wonderful experience. My mother was always present, and somehow the universe managed it that we could be with him.
Very good. What a blessing.
And then I tried some years to handle the relationship with my mother, but I always was careful. It would not have been very clever to forget what she is able to do. I never forgot, but I made her the offer. We can talk. I can help you. I can support you if you like it. And I'm really glad I did it. I was open, but she was then like pulling out the sword and and then I said, so I'm finished, I'm done.
Well done. And this is, from a much bigger perspective, your galactic soul story here of, through your own experience, clearing the domination of Draco over Lyran souls. You broke free from that spell, and you reclaimed your truthful, sovereign state of being without holding grudges, without wanting to fight back or change them, accepting them as they are, and you connecting to sense of peace, love, because you understand that they couldn't give you, they didn't know how to do unconditional love. This type of soul group, they are beings that through aeons of choosing domination and control and power, they kind of disconnect from receiving source energy through creator. They need energy from others to survive, to feed. So they're constantly manipulating through creating fear, anger, emotional issues, trauma.
It is so interesting to hear your words. So I always wonder, why does my mother still have friends? But when I go into it, they are so afraid of her. they are frightened, and so they try to do everything to keep her calm and friendly. Unbelievable. My mother is 83, and how she does with her friends, it's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
So this soul group, they are master manipulators. They are master. Yes. Yes. And they have great intelligence as well. They're very good at navigating.
Yes, and she can speak, so she can.
They can be very charming as well.
Yes, very charming. And she also can be very generous. She has a lot of money, and the other, and you take a sentence that she doesn't like or anything, and ooh.
Flips.
What I find really interesting is the enormous connection she has with my ex-husband. Okay. She said after we got divorced, she said, I lost as a daughter, but I won a son. They are very tight until today. My ex-husband My ex-husband is living in the house my father built. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, they are same soul group by the feels of it. They're same soul group. And it seems, I feel this, again, also your ex-husband is the previous life connection. It's what you couldn't do in those lives, you are able to do now, and you liberated yourself.
Yes, I had a past life regression, and the lady she did this with me. She taught me, I don't know if it's true, but she said it's the first time I saw. This was in the Middle Ages, the past life I saw, and he killed me. He killed me. And the lady said to me, it is the first time in this life that I survived being married with him. I don't know if it's correct, but I said, okay, that might be. Maybe it was very hard to separate from him.
Yeah, so there are three difficult lives that came up. One of them that I've mentioned already, the World War II. We talked about it. The one before that was a lifetime when you were in a relationship where the male was extremely abusive and misusing his power. This was the time when there was, men were really dominating women, and also by social status that he had. What I was getting was literally even like sexual abuse, misuse, really just treating you as piece of his possession. And the block or energy kind of memory trauma was recorded in your sacral chakra. Okay. Mm-hmm. The one from previous life, the World War II, that trauma was recorded on your solar plexus chakra. It was like a little scar that cleared as you liberated and you regained your power center as yours, not someone else's. The sacral chakra was related to that story that you received partial information from the past life regression. And then there is another one, the very first kind of main block on Earth for you was the life before that, during the First World War. And that's where your mother was your oppressor, your main oppressor, first time on Earth you've experienced. And that was recorded on your throat chakra, where you were not able to speak the truth because it was the punishment was loss of your life. So this lifetime she returned, she took your life away. This time she gave your life back. But it was just that for her, it was just to clear the karma of giving you life back. But it was, for her, it wouldn't be about emotional connection and nurture, and it was just like business done. I gave you life back, and now you do whatever you want. But
it's very interesting, really.
And with regards to the bump that you mentioned before, I believe that is a how you were killed in one of the lives. It is actually a point of how you were like, there's something major that hit your head. It literally feels like a hammer or something.
Yes, I don't
as a
know
kill
if
point.
I have it. I feel it about 20 years, and it's a little bit changing sometimes. But I don't expect it to be dangerous or anything.
No. It's just a point. And did you, by any chance, notice when you were around your husband that that bump actually made its appearance?
Maybe. I would like to ask you another question that is very, I would like to bring light in this. In the year 1984, I was 23 years old, and it was the year where we married in July. And I was really healthy, and from one minute to the other, it's really hard to explain. Something came above me and in me, and the first symptom was I couldn't speak, like somebody who had a stroke or like that. I couldn't find words, and I panicked. I thought I would die immediately. My heart pumped, and so this was okay, and we married. And then this came again in September 1984, and then I was so down. No, physically there was nothing to find, but it was like the half of my life force, my soul, my body felt so strange. Everything was like visiting everything through a tunnel. I was not able to work. I felt no, I can't drive cars. And before I was about to fall asleep, there were horror pictures. I looked into a very dark world. It wasn't clear, but I was frightened 24/7. And I always had the feeling something is forcing me to feel so bad that I end my life. But I said, okay, if this gets still worse, I will be in a psychiatric clinic. I didn't know, but it lasted 3 years. I was in hospital, doctors, energy healers. I spent lots of money to be helped. Nothing at all made it any better. And sometimes I punched my head against the wall. Please stop, I don't want this anymore. And my son was born during this time. When I was really feeling bad, he was born in 1986. And then I was pregnant, but I didn't know. And then I found an energy healer. He made this, it was very simple. He only draw the meridians. And he brought me into contact with homeopathy. And he said, I will help you. And in 1987, I was slowly back to my normal life. And last time I had such an, I don't know how, an idea or a vision. Could this something have to do with this harmonic convergence in this year? This was 1987. I never thought about this. This was 2 or 3 weeks ago. I think maybe it wasn't him that could be, because perhaps there was another support that I had the opportunity to get healthy again. I don't know, but I would be so interested what happened in these 3 years. I have no idea.
I do.
Oh,
Yes. So what occurred was direct psychic attack from these Draco reptilian souls that your husband is part of and your son is part of. The images that you described there are perfect signature of what they do to humans, that they need to attack, manipulate, use energy, suck the energy out of. But because your son was meant to be born at that time, they needed to lower your body frequency so much in order for your son's soul to be comfortable there, because you would be much lighter and it wouldn't be compatible. So they needed
I
to.
understand. I didn't already want to get pregnant. I was pregnant before, but the baby didn't grow. It lasted about 3 months or so.
Okay, so what I'm receiving really strongly, clearly here is that there was an intelligence behind orchestration of your son's birth to this world.
Okay.
And the lineage, you know, your mother has this reptilian Draco frequency within her soul and body DNA. Then your husband was bringing that in, so it was very convenient, but your soul was much higher frequency. So first, when they attempted to bring that soul through, it was not compatible. The baby was not successful. So they applied very specific mind control that was literally bringing you through these horrendous images. And I know what you're talking about, just pure torture and evil and hellish
24/7.
So that was to really bring you down so that his soul can be in a more comfortable environment and actually go full term and then be born. Once he was born, as well for the baby, you still had to be around. You still had to have that frequency when he was nursing from you, and then it was okay for you to return. He would be sustained. I am so fascinated right now that what we just uncovered.
When I think back,
doesn't surprise me. Mm-hmm.
When I think back to this time, I find it hardly to imagine that I survived these 3 years. I don't know how I managed it. It was really terrible. Yeah, really terrible.
Terror. I would call that a terror of 3 years. So may you recognize how strong and bright your soul light is for surviving something like that.
Yes,
you know?
Yes. And I was so happy when I met this practitioner, this healing practitioner, and he said, I can help you. And it was so good to hear this. And it lasted 6 weeks, and we were in a shopping mall, and somebody pulled away the curtain and I was back. Then it was a little bit, it was not so good, but at least 3 months I was repaired, renewed.
Yeah.
Thank you for giving me clarity to this. I didn't really understand.
That's very interesting. When you will look at your chart, you will see that your Pluto in 7th house in Virgo is conjunct to Ban Draco at 0.19 minutes. It's very, very tight conjunction, but it's in the house of relationships. It tells you that you are facing throughout your life Dracos, in your lives, in your life, and then your ascendant conjunct Lyra. It's really about this ancient story. In the email that I will send you, I'll include a link to a book called The Prism of Lyra by Lisa Royal Holt. It's a wonderful book to start with the galactic soul history and really integrating polarity of that ancient conflict. I think you will have many aha moments and recognize how much guidance you are receiving from within. But I think this story of your family dynamic will make much more sense to you, and you will just feel at peace that you are fulfilling your destiny and that you're doing better than you think. Just keep going forward. Yeah.
And every time I had difficult times in my life, when I look back, I knew there was some other force who always protected me.
Yes.
I had to go through this, but it's so clear I wouldn't have survived very long if this other protection would not be there.
And it's the
Even
Hydra.
if I
It's
can't
the Hydra
name
and the
it.
Andromeda.
Yes, yes.
So
Wow.
fascinating.
So beautiful.
Fascinating.
It's very fascinating.